Hello and welcome to another banner episode of Husky Huddle. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. Dave Schumann, the coach himself, will be joining me momentarily, but because we did not want to make our dedicated fan base wait any longer than they had to, I decided to get things up and running and starting. You know why? Because I'm a giver, because I'm a pleaser, I'm a people pleaser. I live to make all of you happy. That is everything that matters to me. And there's a lot going on in the world of UConn right now. And the majority of it is just completely spectacular. It's just great to see the men's and women's basketball team performing well, the women winning the Big East Championship. Hopefully, the men can turn things around and, you never know, make a run in the tournament. And it brings us to UConn football, which we all care so much about, near and dear to our hearts. We want to be spectacular. We want to be special. We want to be recognized. We want people to know that in the state of Connecticut, guess what? We can play football. We can play football just as good as anyone. Bring it on. Bring it on. And that's a thanks to Coach Mora and his phenomenal staff. That's a thanks to Kevin Freeman and the National Sea Club, everything he's doing to unite the alumni, and also the man himself, Phil Hunt. Phil in the president's office has made changes, and he's done an outstanding job of taking us to the next level, working to take us to the next level. And then you have our athletic director, Mr. David Benedict. I can't say enough about him. He has grown all the programs at UConn to really make us an athletic powerhouse. And, my thing is with football, we need to get into a conference, and I think we will. And I'm excited for this season for a number of reasons. Number one, Nick Evers is back. Apparently, Joe Pigiano is also back. I think that Nick, with another spring ball under his belt, winter workouts, and tutelage throughout the summer with a quarterback coach, Nick has all the tools to step up and be special. Joe Pigiano did an outstanding job last year stepping in, winning games, winning the bowl game, and he has a big, strong arm that can make all the throws. Up front, the offensive line is just fantastic at what they do. They gave up, I think they were in the top 5 as far as least amount of sacks given up. We had an outstanding running game with the three-headed monster, and I think we're going to have that again with MJ Flowers transferring in from Eastern Illinois. I also just wanted to mention Razul Wallace, my friend and former teammate. He is having a fundraiser dinner on April 19th at the Swift Factory for the House of Changes. And it's an incredible cause. The House of Changes provides an opportunity and obviously housing for recovering addicts to live and get their lives back. And it's just not, they just don't hang out all day. They apply for jobs. There's classes for them to take. They're provided mental health services. They're also provided a house manager who takes care of all their needs. And the goal is within 6 months to a year to integrate them back into society. And it's a difficult transition. And we need everyone's support. We need everyone from UCONN to be there to support the House of Changes. And for no other reason, then guess what? Yours truly, Stephen Joseph Cully, is your keynote speaker. Yes, they had to go down the list pretty darn far to get to my name. But they got to my name, and I was honored that Razul and Ja would give me the opportunity to speak because it's a very important cause to me, and it means a lot to my heart because I know where these guys have been, and I know how hard it is to get out of it, and I know that the majority of people in your life don't like you, don't want to be around you because of your past behavior. So please go. The tickets are on Eventbrite, and it's April 19th. But we were looking at the UConn Huskies, and we were looking at especially the defense that's returning, and they brought in some significant transfers that I think have a chance to make a big difference. And again, I give all the credit to Mr. D'Amelio, and I give the credit to Mike Burton for spending their money wisely and judiciously and bringing in pieces that are able to come in, have the right attitude, want to be here, and contribute right away, which is what we're going to need, which is exactly what we're going to need to succeed. Offensively, with Nick back and Joe and Josiah Gathings, that's fantastic. Skylar Bell is the star. Skylar Bell is your Randy Moss. Skylar Bell is the guy you have to game plan probably 10 to 15 plays where you want to get him the ball because he is someone special and he is someone that can take us to the next level. He is someone that can go to Syracuse and beat them and dominate them. And that's what we need to see. And, the biggest thing is our running backs. We have, in my opinion, some of the best running backs in the country. Cam Edwards, I would pay $10,000 for Cam Edwards' autograph. He is a dynamic, physical, powerful, angry runner. Anytime he gets the ball, he gets downhill. And the biggest thing with Cam is his yards after contact. The first person does not bring him down. He will run through them. He will run over them. He will run around them. But either way, the first person isn't bringing him down. And in this day and age, that's one of the biggest statistics that everyone looks for is yards after contact, and Cam is able to do it. Mel Brown, incredible compliment to Cam Edwards. Mel is shifty. Mel is quick. Mel will make you miss, but don't sleep on Mel because he can put his shoulder down and truck you just like anyone else. And the two of them being back, I believe, is paramount to our success. Everyone makes fun of me because I subscribe to the Randy Edsall philosophy. And I know that everyone thinks I'm nuts because of it. Randy, Coach Edsall, he was my coach. He changed my life. I was definitely not one of his favorite players early on. I gave him plenty of migraines, as I still do. I probably give 90% of people in my life migraines, but Randy, I gave migraines to. I think because he was so honest with me, and at the time I thought he was picking on me, but he wasn't. And I'll never forget the meeting going into my sophomore year. He said, "Steve, you're going to be the starter at right tackle, but I want you to know that you can't give anything less than 100%." And I was like, "Well, I give 100% all the time." He's like, "No, you don't. You take plays off. When you play at 80%, when you play at 90%, that's not good enough to get the job done. You will get beat. And it's just because you're not as athletic as the guys you're playing against. You're not as talented as the guys you're playing against. However, when you give 100% every play, you have a chance. You can be successful. You can beat guys." And again, in my mind, it was, wow, he's pretty much telling me that I'm not very good. But what he was telling me, and it was true, I had to give 100% just to have a chance. If I made a mistake, if I took a wrong step, if I did anything that I had to recover from, I really struggled because I wasn't talented enough to recover. I just wasn't. So I had to be perfect in everything I did. And that's what he told me. And, it upset me at first. Once I got into college coaching, I understood it. I understood exactly what he was saying. He was saying you can start, you can be productive, but you have to give 100% every single play. Taking a play off, going 80% is going to get you beat. And that's what we need to see out of everyone on our team. Evers, Fragano, 100% every play. And they got to get the reads right. They got to get the ball out quick enough. They got to know who they're throwing to. And then they'll have a chance. They have so many receivers coming back. Gavings is probably the most experienced and the best that is returning other than Skylar Bell. And then obviously there's others you see on the roster who are going to be redshirt sophomores. Shamar Porter, Romello Murphy is going to be obviously a senior. He's a redshirt senior as well. Statistically, he hasn't done much, so hopefully we get more out of him. And then as you look down the line, the biggest thing to be excited about is we got Hassan Farrar. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. I pronounce everything wrong. The best podcast in the universe can't even pronounce names. How about that? But he's from Virginia, and he was the top quarterback in the state of Virginia. He graduated early. He's with us now. He's very dynamic. He's athletic. He can throw the ball as well. So he's someone to keep an eye out for. Because if it's not this year, and in my opinion, I hope they do redshirt him. I hope he gets a chance to redshirt, and I hope he gets a chance to develop. As we've seen even in the NFL, quarterbacks are thrown into the fire. They're thrown into the fire way too early. And when you're thrown into the fire early, you flame out. You can say that for Zach Wilson. You can say that. You can even say that for Sam Darnold. He flamed out. Jameis Winston had some good years, but he eventually flamed out. He's been doing better and he's been hanging around. But I mean, so many quarterbacks get drafted high 2 years later and they're gone. Even Daniel Jones. I'm a pseudo Giants fan. Daniel Jones, he was given more time, but they signed him to the $180 million contract and released him. And they ended up releasing Barkley too. So the two guys that they were arguing about, who should we keep, we should let go, they both got let go. So that's disappointing. They also have several other quarterbacks on their roster. The guy that intrigues me the most is Cole Welliver because he is 6'7", and he can do some things. He's got a big arm. I know Tucker McDonald played a little bit last year. He's a redshirt sophomore. He may be someone that they go to. But Cole Welliver, I recruited Liberty Christian High School in Texas when I coached at Holy Cross, and they were just outstanding. They're a top-notch program, and that's why I think he could be successful. And there is the man himself, Coach Schumann. Great to see you.
What's up, man? People, interesting comments. Say God. Please.
Oh, I didn't even look at the comments.
There's nothing. It's nothing.
Oh, okay, I've been ranting, so if they
Oh,
yell,
what were you ranting about?
I was just ranting about the quarterback situation. I was talking about the running backs. I was ranting about Randy and some of the things that he said to me that pissed me off. But I understand them now. On being on the other side of what he was trying to tell me. So,
what did he say to you?
My sophomore year, he called me into his office after spring practice. He said, "Steve, you played well and you won the starting job. You're going to be our starting right tackle going into the season as a sophomore." He told me, and I was absolutely thrilled. But he also said, "I just want you to know you're not good enough to play at anything less than 100%. He said, "Some guys can get by and play at 80% and still win. You're not one of them. If you go 80%, you are going to get beat. If you go 90%, you're going to get beat. If you play at 100%, you have a chance and you can be successful. So you have to have that in your mind. Every single play, you have to go all out and give your best to have a chance to win, because you're not good enough to give anything less." So that's what he said to me, and I remember leaving his office pissed off. And as a coach, when I look back on it, I realized he was right. Because if I took a wrong step, if my pass set was off, if I missed with my hands in the run game, or if I missed with my punch in the passing game, it was very, very difficult for me to recover and still win the play. So that's kind of what he was saying.
Um, that is, well, you know what? He was trying to get you motivated to understand that you had to give everything you had, and he was honest with you because he probably felt if you don't give everything you have, you are not going to be the starter.
Correct. Correct.
So
Yep.
he wanted to make sure that you understood
Understood. Yes.
that this you're starting, but if you're not Tavar Kloss,
Mm-mm.
where Tavar Kloss could do a backflip and was freakishly athletic,
Right.
and the fact that he would maybe honestly, I thought it held him back that he was freakishly athletic because he knew that most of the time he can get in front of a guy because of it, but he was freakishly athletic for a lineman,
Yeah. No,
and
I heard stories about him.
so he was going to start at 70%, at 80%,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I bet
It,
you that made you a better player.
it did. It did. It did. It made me understand that anything less than my best wasn't gonna be good enough.
Right.
And that's kind of what happened, because he was right. He's like, Steve, you're not athletic enough. You're not overly talented enough to give less than your best. When you're at your best, you can compete and beat anyone, but you
Right.
have to be at 100%. So at the time, like I said, I didn't understand it. I took it, as a slight, and like, screw you. Um, I always give my best. He's like, no, 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 you don't. So when you get tired, when you get winded, your technique falls off, and you don't give 100%. So that really resonated with me, and from then on out, I mean, I always did give 100%, and everything that I did. Well, not in practice, but at least in games I did. But
Well,
I
I think
was go ahead.
no, I was going to say that makes sense. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. It does. It does. Um, I was just looking over the roster again, and some of the guys that are coming back, and what we have to be working with. Um, it's really going to be important, I think. And we had talked to Hanson about it. The tight end position is going to have to really step up and be a threat in the passing game, because with Skylar Bell returning, Gathings will step in. They don't have a ton. They really don't have anyone who is a threat as a receiver, unless one of the transfers is.
well, that's what they're banking on, I'm assuming. So,
But I didn't see anyone with like massive numbers that's coming in. I mean, it's gonna be Hanson. It's gonna be some of the backs out of the backfield. It's gonna be, obviously Mel Brown. But if you look at it, the only other receiver that contributed was Shamar Porter. He's going to be a senior, and I believe that he had 8 catches or so, something like that. So that worries me. That worries me in the passing game where you have a quarterback situation that's unsettled, and you don't have Skylar Bell's going to be your go-to guy, but you know that he's going to receive a lot of attention. He's going to get double covered. He's going to get jammed at the line. He's going to have
Right.
somebody over the top of him. They're going to take him away. So it's going to be up to Gavings. It's going to be up to Hanson. It's going to be up to one of the receivers to make plays, and that's the only thing I'm unsure of because it's something we haven't seen. They're going to rely on the run game. The run game is the bread and butter. The run game had well over 2,000 yards. I think we talked about MJ Flowers. I think that he's going to be a tremendous addition and will fit right in. We're good up front. We do have we did lose the one good tackle, but overall we're solid up front. We can do what we're asked to do. I just, like I said to you, I don't particularly care for the outside zone game. I wish they would get downhill a little bit more. That would be my only gripe. And
Right.
then the quarterback position, I'd love to see Cole Welliver and what he
Get
can
a
do.
shot.
Yeah, I recruited that high school. I saw where he was from.
Texas.
Uh, Liberty Christian. Yeah. I went there several times. It's in the middle of nowhere. It has a water tower that says Liberty Christian High School football rules. So it's like it's got that Friday Night Lights feel. So I think that he's got a big arm, and I think they got to give him a chance if all goes to shit. I think he's somebody that they. If it does, man, put him in. Put him in. I nothing against Tucker McDonald.
Is that who
Tucker,
the guy's going to be? Wait, update me on who the quarterback battle is for the spring.
it's going to be Nick and it's going to be Joe. They're
Pagano's back.
yeah, he's on the roster. He's back. I don't know how it worked out. I haven't been
Joe
told.
Pagano's figured out how to stay in college forever. God bless him.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Smart man. Smart man.
What is the point of graduating college? What is out there waiting for you?
Not much. Just life. And you know
How,
what?
college is the best time of your life.
It is the best time of your life. Listen, it's funny because when I was a true freshman at UConn, my next 2 doors down was a guy named Doug Harkins, who was a 50-year senior linebacker captain. Great guy, tough as nails. Okay. He's probably one of the all-time leading tacklers at UConn history. Well, anyway, Doug Harkins said to me, it goes super fast.
It does.
Stay
It does.
here as long as you can. It's great. It's great. You'll enjoy it, And it's funny because he was a fifth year. Like a lot of his friends already had graduated. Sometimes they would come up and visit him. One of them was Craig Murray, who was a fullback. And that was like his best friend. And Doug very rarely went out. Very rarely. I mean, he was a fifth-year senior. He was.
Was he an academic guy?
He's a police officer now, or maybe
he's
retired.
a cop.
He could be retired by now, but it ended up being a cop. That's what he knew he wanted to be a cop. Like he already that was what he was going to be. His brother was a college coach, I think, for Southern Connecticut, maybe.
Oh,
for years, yeah. Mike
oh
was.
wow.
But he knew he wanted to be a cop. Like, and so he didn't go out much. Every once in a while, he would go out. Like he would, and I was a freshman. He would see me out. He'd be, he'd talk
Would
to me.
would the shirt be off by then or no?
For me,
Yeah,
depends.
it depends on the time of night
Yeah,
when
it depends.
the shirt would come
Definitely
out.
late night shirt was off.
By midnight it'd be off.
Oh, definitely. No matter where I was. I mean, unless it was, well, I'll take that back. Winter time now, because UConn winters are cold, but outside of winter, the and then, but when Craig would come up, which was once in a blue moon, they would go out. You know what I mean? And they would go out
Yeah.
to Huskies and stuff, and they would have a great time. I remember they'd come back, I would hear them, and I was a freshman, and I was like, man, I can't wait till one day I'm a 50 or senior running around having a great time. And it was funny because it goes so fast. But you're right, it really is it's just you know what it is now.
College is the best time of your life, man.
And we played football, so we had some difficulties, like physically.
Yeah, we didn't have the freedom that
that they
regular
had.
student had.
I couldn't even imagine what it would like. I did a little bit because when I was in grad school the last year, but I was older, so I wasn't doing as much of the things I did when I was younger. So I did have a little bit of that understanding. But those guys, I used to always say, man, I wonder what it's like that you could go to class, go home,
and have nothing after.
And have nothing after. Like literally go eat lunch. Once you eat lunch, literally, if you schedule your classes in the morning and maybe earlier, you could go eat lunch and then you don't got shit to do.
Yeah, I take a nap.
You take a nap.
I can tell you exactly what it's like when you don't have anything to do. So second semester of my senior year, the friend I was telling you about, Greg Smoot and I probably did absolutely nothing. We didn't go to class. We just eat, go work out, and watch a movie. Maybe smoke a little weed. That'd be about it. So around, I think March or April, we get called into Randy's office, and we're like, "What was this? This can't be good." So Randy's like, "Hey guys, so I didn't know that you were going to decide to do nothing your second semester senior year. I'm looking at your grades right now. You got Cully, you got a C and 2 Ds. Smoot, you got Fs across the board. We got to do something about this, or you're not going to graduate on time." So he goes, I hate to say this, but because of your inability to be responsible, I'm going to have to be responsible for you. I am instituting a study hall policy for seniors for second semester senior year.
Wow.
And he put that in specifically because of us. Yes, because we just decided to take the semester off and do nothing.
And literally do
absolutely nothing. We would wake up, we'd go eat a ton, we'd smoke a little weed, we'd eat some more, then we'd go and rent some movies. This is when you rented movies,
right?
We rent a couple movies. We order a ton of food and just eat and pass out. And that was our day.
And that was your day every day.
That was our day for a couple months. Yeah. Well, it's funny because when I was in study hall freshman year, and God bless, obviously, Bev Sims. Bev took such good care of me. Bev took care of me for 2 years, and I did well because having that structure where, I knew, like, okay, I'm leaving my dorm room at 8 a.m. I'm not going to be back till 10 o'clock at night because, between the classes, meetings, practice, study hall, you wouldn't get back till 10. And that actually worked in my favor because always having that organization, always having something to do made a difference. And I got my best grades when I was in study hall, when I had a full schedule, as opposed to having the idle time. But I think that's, especially for me in general, I think that's true. When I have idle time, that's never the best because that's the only way you can get yourself into trouble. You just find ways to do stupid shit and get yourself into trouble. So that was my thing. And having study hall, having Norris was my line coach.
Yeah, sure.
Norris kept on top of us. Norris, the funniest thing we would do every day before the meeting, he would have a dictionary and he would go through the dictionary and he would pull out a word and he'd have us read the word and write it on the board. And we would have to memorize the word and use it in a sentence that day. So he was trying to just teach us some English so we could be well spoken. I thought that was humorous. That was his. That was
Great.
his way.
What was your favorite word?
I can't remember the exact word it was. There were so many. It was every freaking day. Um, it was just crazy that we'd have to write it on the board and we'd have to look it up and use it in a sentence.
I love that.
You do. You would love that.
Yeah,
Well,
I do
you're
love that.
you're an academic. You're in academia, so you would love that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think it. Oh, my mic just fell off. I think it forms tension in your brain, and it makes you have to think. And if thinking for an offensive lineman is a good thing, and then he's trying to also subtly prepare you for a little bit of life.
No,
Um,
he was.
so that part's good. Uh,
And he was the funny thing. He was a psychology major at Minnesota, and it was funny because my freshman year, my mother would harass him. My mother would talk to him before every game. Um, we have pictures of him sitting on the bench talking to my mother because my mother would want to know how I was doing, and he would
she would
give her.
come down to the fence.
She would come down to the fence, or he would come up into the stands. It was well before pregame. He
Oh,
would
okay.
come and talk, and she would tell my father. She would be like, Herb, uh, you have no idea. Your Coach Wilson, Norris, knows your son better than you do, and better than I do in the time that he spent with him. He knows him. He's got him down pat. He knows him better than we do. And it was funny. It was they just they couldn't believe it that he was able to pick up on everything. And I think that's important, especially when you're dealing with players and when you're dealing with so many different personalities with so many different backgrounds. Having a psychology background kind of helps you navigate those personalities.
Well, I
And
wonder. Yeah, and I wonder now if that. I mean, you need a psychology background probably helps now even more, but um, the player connections now have to be much more
yeah,
less defined as they were, you know, before, where you knew you had a guy for probably 4 years more than likely, you could develop a connection with him. Whereas now
now you don't know.
it's
No,
transactional. It's a transactional relationship,
it
right?
is. I mean, it's business. Is we, I know Joe D got mad when we were talking about it.
Oh, he by the way hates when we talk transfer portal or NIL, even though
Yeah, he doesn't want to waste
the
time.
truth is now it really dominates the conversation, not because we want to talk about it, but because of recruiting wise. That's
Well,
always
and the rules that have
yeah
been passed.
yeah
When I brought up the ESPN article
yeah
on how the schools are structuring the contracts to
yeah
be completely one-sided, and
yeah
it's to prevent guys from leaving in the transfer portal. They're trying to force the hand. Okay, if this kid leaves, they got to pay back the money.
right
So that's why that's why I brought it up. I just thought, like, they're employees. I don't know how you can call them students if you're honestly putting all these requirements into place of what they're expected to do, and they can lose money or have to pay back money if they fail to do that. That's an employee contract. That's not, you can't say that they're students. I understand that, yeah, sure, they go to class and they're students, but by the athletic department, by the school, they're being treated as employees.
right.
And I don't know, I have no idea how it would ever work. I know that Dartmouth did it with the basketball team. They unionized. I don't know if it would have to be on a school by school basis where they would have to decide that, hey, we want to start a union. And then, it's every 4 years it's changing over because guys are leaving. So I don't know how it would be productive or how it would work to create a union.
It's
And I don't
confusing.
know much. I don't know much about unions anyway, other than Jimmy Hoffa is buried under Giant Stadium,
Right, which is now MetLife Stadium, right?
MetLife Stadium. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Jimmy Hoffa was the union guy, right?
yeah,
The
head of the
the
Teamsters.
Teamsters.
Yeah, the Teamsters. She was head of the
Oh
Teamsters.
yeah, you're a Jersey guy, so yeah, he was big in Jersey, right?
That's right. That's right.
Do you remember him?
No, no,
No, he was way before your time,
yeah, he's
right?
way before. I mean, maybe when I was a kid, but
Yeah,
I don't. I was
yeah.
too young. Um, the UConn basketball game. Did you watch it last night?
I did not, but I heard that Hurley got a technical. I don't know why.
I don't.
Do you
Oh,
know?
I fell asleep.
Well, that's not surprising. You always
The
fall
last.
asleep. You fall asleep during podcasts. I
I know.
mean,
I do. I do. Why is that? What is it about the?
because I bore you. I'm boring.
No, I just think
If I was more entertaining, I'd keep you entertained and alert.
well,
When
the
I
UConn
bore,
game is entertaining. I don't know why I fall asleep during that. They were losing when I kind of nodded off.
no.
Yeah, they
Who are they
won by
losing to? Who are they losing to?
so they won by like 11 or something. They were losing to
Did they?
Villanova,
They were losing to Nova. Oh my God!
but they came back. They won by 17. I'm sorry, they won by 17. They came storming back late. Caravan 18, McNeely 12, Johnson 11, Ball 11.
McNeely has really fallen off the
You,
last four or
you,
five games.
you think so?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's only averaging 14 points a game.
That's not
Um,
bad. It's pretty good.
well, not compared to what he was. I mean, he was close to averaging 20 a game. He's fallen off the last since the St. John's game. He's kind of fallen off. And even Joe had mentioned that he'd been in a bit of a shooting slump. I think for them to make a run, McNeely is going to have to, he needs to be in double digits as far as 20 points. He's got to have 20 points a game.
Caravan scored 18, scored 15 of his 18 in the second half.
If Caravan turns it on, that's a different story. Caravan has been dormant most of the season. So if he's able to turn it on, then I think that'll make a huge difference. And then it won't put as much on McNeely. And if Johnson especially is playing better and turning it on, that'll make a huge difference.
Well, you got senior. One thing you will see, I think, tournament time, the seniors should step up. So Caravan, Johnson, and who's the other senior?
Caravan Johnson, is
Mahaney?
Ball a senior?
No,
Well, Mahaney is a senior, yes.
Mahaney. Mahaney
Okay.
played decently well yesterday.
They gave Mahaney some minutes. Okay.
Yeah, Mahaney scored 7, I think.
Okay. That's good for him. I mean, he had been in the doghouse for quite a while, so it's
Scored
good to
7.
see that he's back. Um, so I was just looking at this, and I had asked you before. You said you did not believe Jaden McDonald would get drafted as a linebacker. You think he's going to be a rookie free agent.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tua Brown, you think he's going to be a rookie free agent.
I don't know who Tua Brown is. Tua Brown for me.
Tua Famia Brown. He's a Samoan. He's the linebacker.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah, if Jaden's not going to get drafted, I can't believe Tua would get drafted. I thought Jaden was better, but that's actually, I guess that's not accurate. Jaden had more TFLs. He didn't have as many tackles.
Tua's
Yet,
range 40 time is mid is 4.79. So he's
oh
gonna be a free agent.
yeah,
What's
yeah,
the other Jaden McDonald?
yeah. Jaden was the guy I really liked. Jaden was sideline to sideline. He played hard. He played hurt. He had 125 tackles. He had 10 TFLs and 3.5 sacks, 1 interception. Um, and then I believe the other guy that may have a chance is Malik Dixon Williams. He was number one. He was the corner, but he's tall. He's 6'1". He had 3 interceptions on the year. He had 67 tackles. So I'm hoping that I hope they get somebody. It'd be nice to get somebody drafted out of
See,
this class. But I don't know obviously what their rankings are. I'm sure you can find that. I
yeah,
was curious to see the rankings.
let's see. Inside linebacker. Let's see where McDonald's ranked.
Because I don't think McDonald was invited to the combine.
No, he definitely wasn't.
It's
There's no way.
crazy.
There's no way.
That's crazy.
I'm trying to see because I'm not able to get the information here. I used to.
We didn't have one kid invited to the combine.
Yeah, not one.
Do you think after this season, Cam Edwards will get a chance to go to the combine? I mean, he had 830 yards. He averaged 5.7 yards a carry on 146 attempts. He had 8 touchdowns and the long of 75. And that's a running back by committee. So you know that
I think Cam Edwards is good. I think he'll have a shot. Definitely get a shot.
Yeah. You don't think he'll get drafted, though, necessarily?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what year he has.
It depends how he does this past year.
Yeah.
This next year.
I was trying to find this info because I don't see.
So none of those guys are listed as anywhere of being a top prospect on defense.
Did any of them play in any of the All-Star games?
I thought they did. I'm just checking the news right now to see. Oh, they did have one guy at the combine, the lineman, Chase Lunn. He was invited to the combine.
Oh, yeah, he's good. He's going to get in.
Yes.
He might get drafted.
Yes. No, they didn't have anyone invite. Oh, Jaden McDonald was tabbed. He was tabbed Group of 5 All American. He was a Group of 5 All American.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if he was. Man, he wasn't even first team. He must have been second team. Yeah, he was second. He was second team. He was a second team defensive All American
Okay. Oh my god, I didn't realize
Of-
that was above.
of the Group of 5. I didn't know they did it like that. So they separate the All Americans from the Power 4 and the Group of 5. That's actually, I mean, there's no chance that they're not going to separate, right? With the Power 4 and the Group of 5.
They could. I mean, I don't know. That's a possibility.
I can't see them staying together. They clearly don't want to stay together. The Power 4 obviously believes they're superior to the Group of 5. The money isn't remotely close with the Group of 5 in the Power 4. So, I mean, but as Shane pointed out, Shane said that it's been that way the last 20 years. I mean, there hasn't been any Cinderella stories or really surprises as far as national champions go, other than, maybe like Hawaii or Boise State making it into one of the
Once in a while, TCU making it. I mean, once in a while.
TCU made a run. But TCU was in the Big 12, though, at the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, he's right that it's always been that way. They just don't have the money or the resources to compete.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, and does UConn?
UConn has the facilities. They have incredible facilities. The Burton Complex, the men's and women's basketball complex.
Here are the champions since 2000. Last year, 2024 was
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Then it was Michigan, right? Twice they went 2. Yeah, I think they won 2. They won 1. Okay, so Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, Florida State. That was Winston. He's the only one.
That's what Shane said. Shane was right.
Alabama, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, LSU, Florida, Texas, Southern Cal, LSU and Southern Cal tied. Ohio State, Miami, 2001, back when they were blue blood.
The U. Yeah.
The U. 2000 was Oklahoma. If you go before that, 99, Florida State, 98, Tennessee, 97, Michigan and tied Nebraska, 96, Florida, 95, Nebraska, 94, Nebraska, 93, Florida State, 92, Alabama, 91 was Washington snuck in there, Washington and Miami, 90, Colorado and Georgia Tech. That's the only unusual one, basically. 91 and 90. 89, Miami. 88, Notre Dame. 87, Miami. 86, Penn State. 85, Oklahoma. 84, Brigham Young. They should not have been number 1, but that was back.
84, BYU was the national champion? Holy crap.
They probably played in the Holiday Bowl, played nobody. And we're
that's when the voting was all
voting. Okay, so that's what voting. So there's 3 outliers, and they were all
right
because of voting, and it was because of voting. They didn't play if Georgia Tech or Colorado had to play one of those SEC teams, they would not have beaten them.
No chance in hell. No. Colorado beat Notre Dame that year. I remember.
Yes, that was the
big
that was the one team Colorado had. They had Darian Hagan, Eric Bieniemy.
Bieniemy, Cordell Stewart.
No, Cordell Stewart was after that.
No. Okay.
90 was, because you were probably a baby then. 1990 Colorado football roster. Let's get this
No,
right.
90, I was a huge Notre Dame fan because I love the Rocket. I remember
That's
the
right.
Rocket. I was a big Syracuse fan because I love the missile.
So 1990 roster. All right, here we go. Here are some of the big names. Wow. Okay. Eric Bieniemy, like I said, Vance Joseph. Wasn't that a
He's the DC
coach?
now. Yeah.
He didn't play because he was backing up. Deion Figures, defensive back.
Wow. Okay.
Darian Hagan. Let's see. Mike Pritchard, receiver, who's a great player.
They had a great coach too,
Michael
right?
Westbrook.
Westbrook was on that team.
He must have been a freshman.
Wasn't Bill McCarthy the head coach?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you remember the trivia of that Colorado season? There was a controversial game they played.
Yes, Missouri.
Yes, you remember it.
They got a fifth down.
The fifth down.
The fifth down. They should not have been national champs. They literally got a fifth down.
That cracked me up. I don't even know how
old were you then? Like 10, maybe?
It doesn't matter how old it was.
No, but you remember more of that stuff when you're young, I think.
I remember the fifth down. I remember the fifth down because everyone was up in arms over it. They stormed the field. They had to clear the field to play the fifth down. It was a shit show. It was unfreaking believable.
How could you have a fifth down? How do you
all those referees?
All those referees. How do you not check with each other? Hey, was that fourth down?
There was.
I'm not sure. Did you get drunk last night? Yeah, I did. I got hammered last night. What down is it? I don't know. Shit. I think they have another down.
If you Google ESPN article fifth down, ESPN did an incredible article that talked about the fifth down.
Really?
Yes, it was in depth, and it's where they interviewed everyone, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it.
The coach from Missouri, did he know?
Oh yeah, Bill McCarthy knew. McCarthy knew.
Colorado coach, but did
the Missouri coach? 100%.
So how come they didn't stop the game?
Why would you? You're going to beat the number one team in the country. I wouldn't stop the game. Why didn't the Missouri coach stop the game?
Yeah,
he did. He complained to high hell. I mean, he ran on the field. I mean, he did everything he could. Nobody listened to him. Because back then, because I read the article, the officials had wristbands, and they would move the wristband across to let them know what down it was. Oh my God, you got the video. You got the video.
First down.
So that was the spike. Yep.
Second down. Should have got high in there.
Yep. God, look.
Third down. Great stop right there on Bieniemy.
Did they ever? It's Bieniemy. So this is fourth down coming up. And I love how they're trying to hold him on the pile to run the clock.
Fourth down, he spikes it.
He spiked it. And this is fifth down.
It doesn't look like he gets into me anyway. That's the crazy part.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
But how, when he spiked it, did they not know? They obviously had time. They went to the huddle.
Because I remember
they were so surprised that he spiked it. They thought in their head.
Yeah.
They thought no one would spike it on fourth down.
I remember the refs said that they had little rubber bands, and they would move the rubber band over to know what down it was. And they would slide the rubber band over. First down, second down, third down, fourth down. That's how they kept track. But if you read the article, it's absolutely fascinating to see how that bullshit absolutely happened.
That is bullshit, by the way.
No, 100% it is. 100% it is bullshit. But it's crazy now, between AI and robots, and there's going to be down markers. There's going to be down markers, but there's going to be like lines that you can see, so you know where the first down is.
Yeah,
So
AI will automate that.
So it's like indisputable evidence. Do you like baseball? Do you watch baseball at all?
It's okay.
It's not your sport.
Not really. No.
So football, basketball.
I enjoy watching basketball. Football.
Okay.
I liked.
Not hockey.
No, I'm not really hockey. Not soccer, obviously. I enjoy the Olympics.
Really?
Yeah, track. I enjoy that.
You can pay me to watch the Olympics.
I enjoy. I'm trying to think of what else I enjoy, sports wise. I mean, really, I watch football.
Yeah, it's just football.
I watch some basketball.
Have you watched any of the UFL?
Oh, I watch box. I used to love boxing.
Oh, boxing was great.
They don't have much boxing. MMA. I
love MMA.
I like it. It's not my. I like boxing better.
Why?
Because to me, and this is just my thought process, boxing is an art form.
Boxing is an art form.
It's a great boxer.
It takes skill. I agree.
MMA. There's
MMA combines everything.
It combines everything, but it's not an art form. Like, it's more straight, brutal.
MD Token says football is my favorite game. Thank you, MD. Football is my favorite game too. Well, I mean, if Tyler can compete in it, then how much of an art form can it really be? So,
well, I think it's tough to compete in because there's a lot of different disciplines you have to do.
Yes.
But
yes.
I think it's technique wise, those kind of things. I think that boxing, because it's a single skill set.
Yeah.
I mean, you take any one of these MMA guys, if they have to straight box with a
well, they get killed. Whenever they box, they get destroyed. And they box Logan Paul or Jake Paul, and they get destroyed.
Right. So,
but do you even know right now who the heavyweight boxing champ is?
No,
I don't either.
That's what frustrates me, that I don't.
Yeah, and there's 52,000 divisions.
52 boxing.
It's just such a mess.
I mean, I don't know if it ruined itself or it's just inevitable, like how the sport is structured. When MMA came about, it's a little more exciting.
Yeah.
MMA is a little more like WWE too.
There's nothing wrong with WWE, just so you
know. No, I'm saying because the WWE, the popularity of the drama around it, MMA does a better job with that. So I think that's what makes it more popular. Obviously, MMA is real and wrestling is not. So
okay, first of all, you can't say that.
Yes, of course I can.
Wrestling, nothing irritates me more than anyone using the F word saying wrestling is fake or not real. There is nothing fake or unreal about wrestling.
It's all scripted.
That doesn't mean the action isn't physical. That doesn't.
The action is physical. It's very physical. I watched the whole thing about how their bodies get beat up.
Yes.
Absolutely is physical.
Yes.
Absolutely. But so is being a stunt guy in a movie.
Stunt guys in movies get pads to fall on and shit.
Stunt guys in movies get beat up.
They don't get thrown through. They don't get thrown through tables.
Yes, I mean that has to hurt. There's no doubt. I mean,
it does hurt.
That is real. but it's fake as far as the outcome is. It's predetermined outcome.
You can't say fake. You can say predetermined. You cannot say fake. The F word. I draw the line at the F word. There's
Ask
nothing
Kurt
fake.
Angle, who's an Olympic champion, which is real. The wrestling he did in the Olympics or this?
He will never use the word fake.
Probably right. He'll probably use the word scripted.
It's entertainment.
Scripted entertainment.
It's entertainment. It's physical entertainment. That's all it is.
Fair enough.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
I'll buy that. It's fake. Doesn't mean it's not enjoyable.
When was the last time you were at a WWE show?
I've never, but I used to watch.
You and Frank. I can't get to watch WWE.
I don't. I'll never go to that.
I'll never go to that.
I mean,
take Troy.
My son might enjoy it. So I did used to enjoy, from an entertainment standpoint, a lot Hulk Hogan. I mean, as a kid, I used to have all the action figures. I used to love it. It used to be fun, you know. I mean, Jesse the Body, Jake the Snake, Junkyard Dog. I know them all. I used to watch it. I used to watch it as a kid. Who else was there?
Macho Man.
Andre
the Giant,
Roddy Piper, Iron Sheik,
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. I didn't really like Bret Hart that much.
I don't like him either.
No. Was Bret Hart Mr. Wonderful or no?
That was Paul Orndorff.
Mr. Wonderful. Let's see who else. Let me see if I can name any other ones that were good.
You're going by the 80s, like Cowboy Bob Orton.
The 80s were the heyday, dude.
It was Cowboy Bob Orton. You remember?
Mankind.
Jimmy Snuka.
How about Mankind?
Yeah, Mankind. Mick Foley. Frank knows him from Cortland.
Undertaker. The Undertaker.
Do you know that I traumatized him on Undertaker and almost got arrested?
Why would you say to him? He's in bad shape. I think it's him that's in bad shape.
No, he's okay. He's
okay.
Yeah. So
I think Mick Foley's okay.
He's banged up, but he's getting better. So I was injured in NFL Europe. NFL Europe sends anyone who gets injured to Birmingham, Alabama. Okay. Dr. James Andrews, world-renowned.
Yes, surgeon. World-renowned. Yeah, of course.
Does your surgery. Does all your surgeries.
Oh, he did yours?
Yes.
Oh.
So when I was there, two of the WWE wrestlers were there. One of them was The Undertaker. One of them was Triple H.
Triple H.
Now the people at the rehab facility knew that I was a huge WWE fan, knew that these two were coming in, and they pulled me aside and they said, "Steve, please do not talk to The Undertaker. Do not talk to Triple H. They are normal people. They are here to get treatment and not harassed." Okay. They walk in, they sit on the table. 10 seconds later, I approach The Undertaker. He's rehabbing. He tore his triceps. I said, "Hello, Mark. My name is Steve. I'm a huge fan. I was at your match when you were fighting Mick Foley and Hell in the Cell, and you threw him through the cage, and it was amazing. And I just think you're such an incredible athlete and performer. And I just wanted to let you know that I love you and you're awesome." He looked up at me like I had 5 heads. He said, and then I asked him, "So how's your arm doing?" And he looked up at me and he goes, "The arm's doing just fine. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to get back to work."
Oh, that's great.
Oh, it gets better. So 10 seconds later, the head trainer comes running over to me. "Steve, The Undertaker wants you to leave. What did you do?" I said, "I did nothing." I said, "I congratulated him." I said, I thanked him and said I was a fan. He said that you called him by his real name. His real name's Mark, and I know his real name, obviously. He says nobody calls him by his real name. They call him Taker. You called him Mark, and you freaked him out, and he thinks you're a stalker, and now he wants you to leave. I'm saying, are you being serious right now? The Undertaker says I have to leave. Yes, he's demanding that you leave. I said, well, what if I go over there and I'll be good? I won't say another word. He said, no, you got to go. I was like, okay, all right. So I freaked out the Undertaker. Thought I was a stalker because I knew his real name. What am I supposed to call? I'm supposed to say Undertaker?
Excuse
Hi,
me,
Undertaker.
excuse me, Mr. Taker.
He was freaked out because I knew his real name, and his real name's online. I didn't want to, look like a typical Mark fan and call him
Right.
Undertaker and gush.
You must
I
be
called
almost
him.
as tall as him.
No, I mean he's a legit 6'10".
He is. He's much taller than you.
Yeah. So then a few days later, Triple H is there. Triple H tore his quad. Was it his quad? I think it was his quad. So he's about, they're talking to him and he's going into surgery or whatever. Of course, I have to go over and talk to him. Hi,
Sure.
Paul. His name's Paul. Hi, Paul. I just want you to know that I'm a big fan. I've watched your work. You're absolutely incredible, and I appreciate everything you do for the sport. I'm a huge WWE fan, and I wish you the best in speedy recovery. One of your favorite matches was you and Mankind. You beat the hell out of each other, and it just was art form. Triple H looks at me. And he goes, "What's your name?" I go, "Steve." He goes, "Steve, how old are you?" I'm 23. Okay, you're 23 years old. Just so you know, it's not real. It's entertainment. When I hit Mankind, Mick Foley, his name is, with a trash can, I wasn't trying to kill him. Just so you know, we protect each other. It's not about hurting each other. So hurting each other is bad, and you wanting us to hurt each other is bad. So I suggest you take a long look in the mirror and grow up. And that's what he said to me.
Wow.
I said, okay, Paul. He said, don't call me Paul. It's Hunter. You call me Hunter, call me Triple H. Okay, Triple H. Good luck with surgery. 10 seconds later, trainer comes back. Steve, what's wrong with you? I said, I'm just a fan. Well, The Undertaker thinks you're a stalker. Triple H thinks you're a weirdo. We're going to have to send you to the other rehab facility because they don't want to be around you. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm dead serious. They want nothing to do with you. I'm like, okay. So I guess I blew that one. Yep, you did. That was it. That's what I get for being a wrestling fan. The Undertaker thinks I'm a stalker to this day, and Triple H, Paul Levesque, runs the company, and he told me to grow up. So that's how they treat their fans. I didn't deserve that. I was a well-respected, well-mannered person. And I got shit on for being a fan. Do you know what that's like? Do you know what that's like to meet your heroes and have them shit all over you and tell you to grow up and tell you you're a stalker? You know how that makes you feel? As you're not paying attention.
I don't know how that would make me feel.
And I am a diehard Hulk Hogan fan. Do you know that?
Hulk Hogan's great. Have you ever seen the roaster?
Yeah, I have.
The
Yes.
young kid, he's great.
Yes. Do you know there's one person in this world I would perform fellatio on to meet Hulk Hogan? Do you know that?
Um, that's not cool.
No, it is. I would do it. If you pointed out anyone and said, suck that, I would do it if it meant meeting Hulk Hogan.
Uh,
That's how much I want to meet him.
see who else was cool back in the day? How about
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was cool.
the
Hillbilly Jim
Ultimate
was cool.
Warrior?
Oh, the Ultimate Warrior. Do you know I was one of the last person to talk to him before he died?
Wow, really?
I have a custom portrait that he painted for me. He was a painter in his late days when he was a little bit less crazy. Thank you, Courtney. I know I have issues. I have a lot of issues. Courtney decided to announce that I have issues. Courtney, anyone who watches this show, I don't think that they would disagree with you. I think they all know I have issues. Dave, do I have issues?
Uh,
I
uh,
mean, yeah, I have issues. I have issues.
Did you ever see Waterboy?
Don't compare me to the fucking water
You know how
boy.
he liked Captain
I'm
Insano?
not Bobby Boucher. If
You
you
like,
yeah,
did you like Captain Insano?
don't you dare say I'm Bobby Boucher.
Oh, well, how nice! What a nice. How old are you, son?
Yeah, it's 12, 10, 12. No,
Uh,
sir. No, sir. 32. And he starts laughing his ass off. No, but yeah, I mean, I can't help it. I mean, when you have your heroes, you will do anything to meet them.
I met
Don't you have a connection somewhere? I mean, you know everyone. You got to know someone who knows someone that knows Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Yeah, I'm not reading the rest. I do know someone who knows Triple H.
Do you really?
Uh-huh.
Who do you
Yeah.
know that you know Triple H?
So, guy Joe DeFranco, who's this
Oh yes, he trained him. He
yeah,
trained Triple H
he's
and
from
Stephanie.
he went to Bergen
Jersey.
Catholic. Yeah, he's from Jersey.
Yes, he
Uh,
personally trains Paul and Stephanie. I do know that. I do know that. Pete Gas. Courtney, I'm trying to get Pete Gas on. Pete Gas got mad at me. I'm trying to get him to respond.
Pete Gasparino?
Yes, I did a show with him, but the sound was bad, so I couldn't
Famous
use it.
Lyman for
Yes, yes. I reached out to him. He hasn't gotten back to me. I think he's pissed at me. I gotta try to get him back.
what happened? The sound was what?
The sound quality was bad because it was right about to have a hurricane where he was, so the sound was bad. I couldn't use it. I was embarrassed to tell him I couldn't use it, so I didn't say anything for a few weeks, and then he asked me about it, and I told him I was too afraid to tell you because I didn't want you to beat me up.
Mm.
So but I'm trying to get him back on for sure because I think he'll be great. I got to get that other guy, and then Belcourt is working on getting Chapman for me.
Oh, that'll be great.
Was Chapman a receiver?
DB.
Oh, Chapman was the DB.
He might have started out as a receiver, but he was a DB when I was there.
Was it that Didio guy who was the receiver?
Oh yeah, he was a superstar.
All right, he's the one. He's the one that we have to get on. I got to try to get him on for sure. Are you? No, you probably can't. April 19th is Easter weekend, right? So you'll be busy.
What's that?
April 19th is the Saturday of Easter weekend.
Oh,
So I didn't think you would probably be busy. You wouldn't want to do anything.
No.
Okay.
I want to do nothing that weekend.
Okay, we'll discuss football a little bit. We'll discuss.
We did discuss football. We're done. It's an hour and 20 minutes.
I got yelled at. UConn is.
We already talked football. We talked football an hour ago.
I did.
I'm out of here. I gotta go start my day.
I'm getting yelled at. Okay.
Talking shock.
Yeah.
Mr. MD talking shock.
Well, we got 300 viewers, so that's good. That's good.
I got to get rolling anyway. Hour and 20 minutes. That's good. You did the first 15 by yourself.
I did. That's what I'm all about. So for the coach, David Schumann, Steve Cully, this has been Husky Huddle. I am the best podcast host in the universe, and hopefully Triple H and The Undertaker don't come after me for stalking charges. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at